Welcome back, everyone, and this is 6 weeks of consistent YouTubes for you all. I hope you're enjoying them, and please let me know if you are. One problem that I have with YouTube is the titles have to say a certain thing for clickbait, whereas what's actually happening in the video is more fluid and responsive, right? So today we are working on pretty much hips and legs, but it's more to do with let's warm them up and then let's cultivate a little bit of stability in an embodied and flowy and fabulous kind of sense. I want to do that as time conscious as possible because I know you've been asking for shorter videos, not longer flows. So before we set up, please just make sure you have your computer or your laptop to the sides of the mat, because general Sarah style, we will be going around from the front to the back and using the middle mat as the front at some point. All will be revealed. Join me in all fours when you are ready. So starting off in a tabletop for this session. And as always, I just want to take these first few moments to come into the body and into the breath, right? So whether that means for you dropping down into a cat and cow, whether that means rocking forwards and backwards on the wrist, whether that's making circles in the body, just take your time now to introduce some soft movements. Whatever you're doing, let the body decide and lead this part or the beginning of the practice. So find a line of tension or a line of movement that feels like a full yes for the body. And then once you have that kind of explorative nature, notice how the breath kind of connects and engages with that movement. So just take a few more rounds, breath through movement, wherever you are. And then in the next breath or so, we're just going to take it into circles. So imagine sitting back towards your heels, kind of like a child's pose, but we don't quite get there. Shift the weight onto that right leg, so feel that right hip push out to the side slightly. And then swing the weight forward, shoulders on top of the right wrist, bring it across to the left wrist, and then sit back towards the left hip. And just take a few more rounds of this, and because it is a hip opening class, I want you to just be conscious of letting the hips be the instigator of the movement here. So notice how it feels in the pelvis, in the top of the hip joints. Maybe you get a sense of how the femurs kind of engaging and moving at the top of the leg. And then gently just switch the directions, take it to the opposite side. And move slower than you want to here, right? Bring the brain into those nooks and crannies that like to make themselves show up in movement. Perfect. And then finally, just come up through center. We're going to start with that right leg. So just bring the right knee towards the right elbow, wherever it can go. Take the right knee out towards the side, kind of like a fire hydrant, and then draw it back in towards your belly. Just take a few more of those. Again, let this movement come from the top of that hip joint, rather than letting the sides of the body kind of compensate for that movement. Perfect. Now, the next time the right knee goes out towards the right, straighten out that right leg, bring the toes on the ground facing forward and extend it out. So I'm going to make a little bit more space here. Before we add movement, just push into the toes, find that lock up on the floor. And then add in a little bit of cat-cow. So think of tilting the pelvis upwards first. And then with that tilt of the pelvis, let it travel along the length of the spine so that you open heart, open chest. And then from here, tuck the pelvis under first, and then let that ripple all the way up through the spine. And again, just repeating that movement. A slow, intentional cat-cow with that leg extended. And if it feels good, if you want to add a little bit of a sway, like a rolling cat-cow here, feel free. And I love this pose because it really highlights how the position of the pelvis can affect the line of tension or the sensation on that extended leg. Amazing. Now just take in a few more. If you want to sit back and hold it to just feel into that sensation of stretch a little bit more, you can take a breath there. And then finally, just walk the hands back to the knee, keep the right leg where it is, and come up to stand into a gate pose. Bring your arms to a T, send your hips forward. Drop your right arm, left arm's reaching up and over. So we're going to pulse here. The breath in, just come up a little bit out of that intensity. And the breath out, slowly sliding and gliding towards that right foot. Take a few more. Own breath, own pace. And as you have that movement of the arm, think about pushing the hips forward or finding your alignment with that pelvis. So whether it's a little bit forward or a little bit back, that enables you to find something interesting on that left-hand side. Good. You can find stillness, you can stay in movement, just take 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then looking down towards the ground, left hand's going to come down underneath the left shoulder. We're going to pick up the right foot and take it back to us as if we're going to come into a side plank. But I want you to bend the right knee, bring the right toes on the floor. It's something that I call clam pose, right? So it's kind of like we're on the tippy toes with that right foot, the knees up towards the ceiling, reach that left arm high. Good. We're going to take movement. Of course we are. Now, start by dropping your knee down towards the ground. So that right toe is like a pivot point. Right knee comes down. Let that knee fold in. And then as soon as you feel that movement creep into the lower back and the upper body, that's when I want you to bring your hand down, maybe thread it by your left elbow. A few more like that. So raise that right knee first. Once it feels like it's creeping into the sides of the body, let that be the instigator to then open out through the chest. Good. Take a few more. So knee comes down, that folding, that rounding, that broadening of the upper back. And then that opening out through the hips, which runs through that line of energy all the way to the chest. Oh, take a few more, right? It feels good. Maybe at first you started small. You want to get a little bit more expansive as you go. Nice. And then the next time you open up through that right hip, take a pause there. Maybe that right hand wants to drop next to the ear for a little bit of a rainbowing for the rib cage. And then drop your right heel on the floor. Make sure your left toes are untucked. We're going to find half a malasana. So bend towards your right foot, bring your hips down onto the ground, and your right hand comes inside of your right foot. Take a second, push the knee into the elbow, elbow into the knee. Good. And then raise your left arm up when it feels good. So just feel that active lock of that right side. We've took the left leg out of the equation, so you can really hopefully get a little bit deeper into that right hip than, say, a regular malasana. We've took out the amount of ankle flexion needed there as well. Just one more breath. And then spin the hands back towards the front of the mat. Keep the right foot where it is. We're going to go 3-legged dog. So both hands come down, left leg up towards the sky. Oh, so nice, right? Bend the knee, open the hip, shake out the foot if you need to. And then draw the knee in towards the nose, step the foot in between the hands. Hands can be on blocks, just looking forward, so lengthening through that right heel. Maybe a little bit of a rock forwards and back. So we get in that long line of energy across the front of the hip. And then step both feet to the top of the mat, take them pretty wide. Good. Heels in, toes out. Soften the knees here, reach your arms forward, and just give yourself a little bit of a sway. So sitting gently into the hips. But we have the support of the arms, even the length of the spine. Now bend the knees a lot. Drag the hands towards your heels, looking forward, lengthening Think of a halfway lift. I like to call this gorilla stance, because elbows are pushing into the knees, butt's a little bit lower. Just find a little bit of activation there by pushing the heels down and squeezing your elbows back into your knees. I know, don't hate me. Now ground through the heels, come up to rise, big breath in, arms go high. Exhale, find a mountain, just find a little bit of softness. Let out the breath you were holding. Relax the belly. Now blinking the eyes open. Keep the legs as far apart as they are. Take a breath in, just raise arms. Right hand to the right hip, left arms reaching over, and take your hips all the way over to the left as your left arms reach in towards the right. Fab. Again, you can play with tucking and untucking, even bending and straightening that left knee to find a line of tension where you're like, ooh, you know what, that feels good. And there's no bad movement, right? Take a pause and a breath. Now, coming up through center, we're just going to go opposite side. So left hand, left hip, right arm up. Right hip juts out, right hand's reaching up and over. And again, we can experiment with bending the right knee a little bit. So what that's doing is giving us a little bit of slack in the back of the body. So then you might find the stretch moves a little bit more forward towards the front of the body. Arms go high, coming back up, and then folding forward, coming all the way back down. Halfway lift, lengthen up. Plant the hands, step it back, come back to your all fours. If you want to sit back and just take a few breaths. And we're going to start all of that on the left hand side. So where did I actually start? Oh yes, the rolling. Left knee comes in towards your left elbow. Bring it out towards that left hand side and then roll it and bring it in. And just take a few more of those. So one side might not be as high as the other. I know that's the case for me in the left, and that's completely fine. Next time the knee comes out towards the side, extend that left leg. Toes point forward, push pinky toe down towards the ground. Find that active lock, so push the toes away from you and into the ground. Now starting with the pelvis, so pelvis tilts high towards the ceiling. Let that ripple then have its effect on the whole spine. So looking forward, dropping belly, lifting chest. And then tucking the pelvis first, round in and let that come all the way into the head and the neck. Take a few more rounds. Again, if you want to add those rolling cat-cows, feel free. That sense of forward and back. And just noticing how far back maybe you need to go today. If you want to pause in stillness, sitting back because you like the sensation of stretch to your practice. And then next time the weight is centered, walk the hands back towards the knee. We're coming up to gate pose. Arms go high. Left hand, left knee. And then we're pulsing. So we're sliding left hand down the left knee as we gently lean towards the right. Find a depth and then pull back out of it and come out. Good. Take a few more. Again, noticing the position of the legs. And asking yourself, how far forward do I have to push my hips in order to find a line of tension that feels good and beneficial to me? You can pause. You can stay in movement. Then looking down towards the ground, right hand comes underneath the shoulders. Left foot goes back, so we're turning towards the left hand side, kind of like a half side plank, but coming onto those left toes, the tippy toes and the clown. Readjust if you need to. Instigating the movement from that left knee, so turning the left knee down towards the ground first. Wait for it to drop and starting to affect that lower back, and then curve all the way in like you're threading the needle and coming down. Few more. Knee goes up, that rolling. When does the chest and the mid back get involved as you open? I'm going to shut up in this round. Just enjoy it. Feel the contrast of expanding and kind of retracting in on ourselves. Take 2 more. And the next time that left arm's by the head, maybe you drop it behind the ear and you find that little bit of a rainbow and opening for the rib cage. And then this is the fun bit. So bring the left foot flat, flatten your back foot on the ground, drop your hips and bring your left hand to the inside of that left foot. Drop the hips down, coming into that half malasana. So think about pushing the knee into the bicep, or the tricep even, tricep into the knee. Feeling that lock whilst you're also finding height, so you're pushing your left heel down into the ground. Right arm reaches up. Ooh, so nice, right? Make sure you've got that active lock, because we're going to need it later on. Well, very soon, actually. And then looking back towards the front of the mat. Both hands come down. Keep your left foot grounded, just spin the hips, take your right leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Knee in towards the nose, big step forward, foot towards the top of the mat. Push your left heel back, send your heart forward, drop your hips just as much so you feel the front of that thigh starting to open up. You can rock, you can bounce. Keeping hands where they are, stepping left foot next to the right, just a regular forward fold. You can ragdoll it. You can take a moment and a pause. And soften the knees, gently begin to rise. Coming all the way up. Arms high. Palms to heart. Let the hands rest on the belly, on the chest, or down by the side. And then blinking the eyes open. This is where it gets fun and a little bit spicy for the legs. So what we're going to do is stay on one leg. We're going to do a kind of, I don't know, dancing warrior medley kind of thing, just to find stability in the legs. We'll repeat it on both sides. So from here, soften the knees, feel the grounding of the foot, and take your left foot back behind you. So take a big step, turn towards the wide side of the mat, heels in, toes out, big breath, get expansive, and then breathe out, sit in towards a horse stance or goddess squat. Push into the heels, think about squeezing the knees towards the back. Give yourself a little bit of a sway and start to feel how the heels get heavy. And with that heaviness rooted into the ground, you'll start to wake up these inner thighs muscles, right? And even the hamstrings and the glutes. Good. We're starting from here. We're going to counteract, so don't worry. It's not going to be this intense all the time. So from here, straighten out through the legs. Triangle pose to the right. So turn your left toes in, right toes forward. Reaching forward, but try not to be passive, right? We want it nice and active through the legs. Now bend your right knee. Come into a reverse warrior. So drop your left arm, raise your right arm high. Twisted lunge. So as you come forward, pick up your back heel. Left hand spins down towards the ground. So our weight's coming over that front foot, but don't bring it on the ground. Stay active. That right hip's pulling back into space. I know, don't hate me. Circle. Left arm back. Stay low. We're coming into side angle. So right arm comes to that right knee. Your left heel drops once more. Stay active. Try not to be passive. And then breathe in, straighten both legs. Find that reverse trikonasana. That's all we're going to do. A few more rounds. Exhale, coming in, active triangle. So reach in here. Doesn't matter, like I like my arms a little bit crow-like to find a little bit more weight in that front foot. Bend the front knee, drop your left arm, coming over the top, finding that reverse. Active twisted lunge, spin on the back heel, left arm comes down towards the ground, but we don't plant it down. Side angle, drop in the back heel, right forearm finds that knee, left arm over the ear, let it float. Straighten both legs. Reverse Trikonasana. Good. We'll go 2 more, I think. Coming forward, triangle pose. Active. Think space and height. Bending the front knee, reverse warrior, bringing it back. Sending the weight forward, turning on the back toes, that twisted active lunge. I know that's the one that's a killer, right? Dropping the back heel, right forearm finds the knee, open up, active side angle. Last one, reverse, straighten both legs. Reverse Trikonasana. Triangle pose, coming forward. Bending knee, reverse warrior. Twisted lunge, nice and active. Finding a side angle, drop the back foot. Pause for a second there. Good. Ground, I know. Spicy. Look down towards the floor, bring your left arm down. Drop your left knee on the ground. Ha, you're welcome. And then straighten out through that right leg. And give yourself a little bit of a pulse. So coming out of that weight, letting that kind of intensity dissipate through the leg. And then a few options here. Take the foot a little bit out towards the right, bend the knee, come down low. Now you can drop onto the knife edge and find this sense of hip opening, this sense of release for that leg that's nice and active. If you're like, Sarah, hell no, what are you doing to me? Come into a pigeon pose, yeah? So something a little bit more passive and coming down if you're like, yeah, let me just take a moment because we have got the other side. So whether you're in the pigeon or the lizard, soften the upper body. Use this time to connect back to the breath, to just let the nervous system kind of absorb everything that we've done so far. Wherever you are, you're going to find a 3-legged dog with that right leg up to the sky. So tucking the back toes, coming back onto your hands, lifting that left leg all the way, not left leg, right leg all the way up. Give it a shake, give it a little bit of a wriggle, and then bring the knee back in towards the nose. Step the foot forward. Come into a high lunge, so rise. We're getting off that leg, don't worry. Turn towards the side and the wide side of the mat. And give the hips maybe a little bit of a circle. If you are circling them, soften the knees so you can get, I don't know, into the corners a little bit more, even though our hips don't have corners. But you get what I'm feeling, right? We're going to go opposite side. So tuck the tailbone under. Sink low, find that goddess or horse stance. One side's going to feel a lot different to the other. That's normal. Let's start our flow on the left. So push up, straightening out. Turn right toes forward, find that floating Trikonasana here. First time here, so it might feel a little bit sticky first, don't worry. Bend the left knee, rise, reverse the warrior, pull back. Active twisted lunge. So pivoting on the back toes, right arm goes down, left arm goes up. Do not put it down. Active side angle. Drop the back heel, left elbow, left knee, right arm high. Oh, this side's way harder. Coming up to rise, straighten both legs. Reverse Trikonasana. You know where we're going. So try and link the movement with your breath as you come into that triangle, nice and active. Let the knee bend first, pull back, find that reverse. Coming over the top and twist into that active twisted lunge. Keep the load on the front leg as you drop the back heel. Open out, active side angle. Push through both legs, straighten up and rise. I think 2 more, right? Pulling forward. I'm going to go less cues so you can enjoy it. Reverse the warrior. Active twist coming over the top. Fighting the side angle. Pushing legs, reverse triangle. Last one, right now. Trikonasana. Knee bends, pulling back, reverse. Active twist, coming low towards the ground, but not using the ground for strength. Back heel drops, open out, side angle pose. Pause here. Chest turning towards the side, stay strong on the legs. Looking down towards the ground, right hand comes down. Square the hips off, so pick up the back heel. Bring the knee back down on the ground. And then straighten out. Don't think half split, just think of a release for that back line of tension, right? So we're pulsing. And then as you pulse, that stability, that strengthening sensation starts to ease, hopefully. And then picking your spot to hold so you can come forward. Turn onto the knife edge of that left foot for that extended lizard pose. Or you can come into a pigeon, which to be honest feels better for me right now. And then wherever you are, just like the other side, let it soften. Let the breath deepen. And the beauty of these classes is, yes, they might feel a lot to start with, because you're like, Sarah, what? But the more you repeat them, the more they would become like a moving meditation. The less you have to think about what you're doing physically, and then the more you can embrace the experience, the connections, the bits in between themselves. Gently just coming onto your hands. Leaning into that left leg, coming in towards a seat. So just find cross-legged. This is where I'm going to leave you. If you're a teacher and you want to teach like this, check out the links below. And it's up to you whether you want to finish your practice with any other poses, but wherever you are before you move or leave, feel the sit bones on the ground. Get a sense of the stacking of the spine and just tune in to the type of energy that you've created today. Feel the rhythm and beauty of the breath. And thank you all for practicing with me, and I'll see you all next week.